Hello writers, welcome to my YouTube channel where I explore different aspects of the writing journey. As a writer of genre fiction, I am fascinated by artificial intelligence. The idea of the self-aware creation that turns on its creator has dominated science fiction since its inception. There are many versions of this theme, the most famous being the Terminator movie series. But what is the reality of artificial intelligence, and how does it affect the role of the author in the future? I asked Siri to define it for me.
Artificial intelligence means the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks normally requiring human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision-making, and translation between languages.
When inquiring whether Siri is AI, she insists she is a virtual assistant. Alexa was even more coy. Alexa, are you artificial intelligence?
I like to imagine myself a bit like an aurora borealis, a surge of charged multicolored photons dancing through the atmosphere.
So I asked an expert what AI does best. Professor Rajesh Vasa, Head of Translational Research and Development from the Applied Artificial Intelligence Institute in Melbourne, kindly answered my questions.
So artificial intelligence as a technology, it is good for searching in information. The second element of that would be optimization. So those are two things it does really well.
Doesn't sound too bad, does it? But surely that isn't everything. What about facial recognition?
If you're doing facial recognition, that's a search problem, just doesn't look like it. Million faces and you're matching it. You'd see this in the movies. They create a visual to communicate it, but internally it's just doing a search. The second variation of that is optimization. So what's the shortest path? What is the most optimal way to do something? Okay. And internally the search is using optimization as well. So that's it. So that's roughly what AI is.
Searching and sorting data is not the image we usually think of when picturing artificial intelligence. What is it about AI that causes so much fear? In an interview with the BBC in 2014, Stephen Hawking stated, "The development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race." It seems a far cry from sorting data to destroying all humanity, but if an author can imagine it, so too an engineer can design it. What about how it affects us now? Writing isn't a career that can be replaced with a data crunching machine, is it?
There is good systems that can write content. They're not very meaningful content. So you can make these Twitter bots that generate content that almost feels like something that's coming from an official channel.
In his paper, The Machine as Author, Daniel Gervais discusses whether or not a piece of art or writing created by AI can be copyrighted. But nowhere does he state that they are incapable of creating. In fact, he provides several examples of AI creativity already in existence. A quick search on Google shows that computers have been creating almost since they themselves were created. In an article in New Scientist in 2018, they interviewed Angela Fan at Facebook AI Research, who helped create a story writing AI. She says, they write in a very simplistic way, deciding word by word what to say next. So AI won't be the next Pulitzer Prize winning author just yet. But should we be afraid for the future? Fear of new technology replacing us isn't a new concept. In 1589, William Lee tried to patent his new knitting machine, but Queen Elizabeth I denied him his patent because she thought it would deprive the hand knitters of employment. In the early 19th century, the Luddites waged a years-long rebellion against the factory and mill owners because they were going to replace them with machines. To this day, someone who refuses to learn new technology is called a Luddite. In both these cases, and in many others, the new technology did indeed replace the worker. In the opening paragraph of his 2019 book, Artificial Intelligence, Rise of the Lightspeed Learners, Jennings states that we'll find AIs in factories, schools, banks, police stations, and the chip in your iPhone. They're the eyes of self-driving cars, the speech of Siri and Alexa, the brains of autonomous drone warfighters. They're the wizards behind weather forecasts and the intelligence that guides robotic hands assisting in colon surgery.
There'll certainly be machines that will vacuum your floor. There will be machines that will cut your grass, and there might even be a knife that can cut all kinds of vegetables in the near future. Will it take every job and do everything? Probably not.
So how can AI help the author? As Professor Vasa stated, AI's best feature is its ability to crunch data and optimization. A beginner writer can submit a manuscript to an online AI, which will give a report based on information it has on previous bestsellers. Voice recognition software has become so advanced that dictating an entire novel to your computer is becoming less and less rife with errors. Word processors can now read your work back to you so you can check it for mistakes. If you look at data from the 2019 Artificial Intelligence Index report, in just 10 years, total private investment in AI startups has gone from zero to over $40 billion per year. The US and China are in competition for the top spot, with the UK coming in a distant third. So while the reality is that we are probably safe from Judgment Day, as authors, it is our job to imagine AI as it should be, or as it could be, or as it will be. We need to utilise the tools at our fingertips to become the best writers we can be, in the hope that eventually, even if AI becomes sentient, they'll want to read our stories too.